Hey, what's up everybody? Little change of scenery for my peptide update. Getting some miles in. Here's where I run at. Not bad. Also not bad because there's never anybody here. So cycle 3, getting ready to start. This is where I am taking CJC 1295 and ipamorelin. Now after 2 cycles, it's been a lot of ups and actually more downs unfortunately than up. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and go back and watch my other videos. I'm just some random 46-year-old dude that has no peptides to sell you, who thought maybe I would just try this thing that, TikTok was full of people talking about how great they were, and I thought, I'm not sure I'd buy this, but let's try it anyway. So, man, my beard is getting nuts. Oh man, that is not a peptide side effect, unfortunately, hair growth. So, all right, I just picked up my peptides this morning. I'm doing a couple of things different this time. One is, well, they're actually kind of related. One is, I've always had my peptides shipped to me. My first shipment was in like March, so temperatures were still quite cool. My second shipment was in June. And I had so much problems after my second shipment with my injections that somebody mentioned on one of my videos that maybe if there was heat involved, they didn't know this at the time, they said if it was shipped and it was hot, that it could have denatured to some extent or some degree the peptides. Little did they know that it was hot as balls out. It was like 90 something degrees. In my mailbox it was probably 900 degrees. So I thought that was sort of an interesting take, and actually sort of was one of the first things where I went, there's actually, that feels like it could be a thing because it was hot and whatever. So I actually just went and picked them up directly from my doctor, who usually orders it and then sends it to me. They had some in stock there, so I just went and picked it up. So we're gonna kind of get around that hot thing and see if that helps. The other thing that I did is I had them denature, or them do the mixing there. So if you watch my other videos, again, go back and watch them if you haven't. I showed you how I receive a bacteriostatic water vial and then a vial with the peptide powders in it, and then I have to mix the two. Just to make sure I'm getting it right, I had them do it there for me. Now here's what I thought was a little bit odd, was I felt like, and I'm not sure, I might be remembering incorrectly, but I felt like the vial that they gave me, based off of the rules that they had given me, which is how much of the bacteriostatic water to mix in, I felt like the vial they gave me had less peptide liquid in it after it was mixed, that the vial had less in it than it had whenever I was doing it. Again, that might be me having some revisionist history of like rewriting history of what I think was true. But as soon as I looked at it, I thought, that's interesting. It seems like it's less. If it is less, that could mean that I was mixing too much of the bacteriostatic water, and so each treatment might have been slightly diluted. Again, that's only if that's true, right? I don't know. So I've got somewhat high hopes because I've changed a couple of the upfront things that may have been causing a problem. I'm also going to approach my dosages slightly different. What I've been doing, cycle 1 was 10 units on my needle every night before bed, but I had so much left over at the end of the cycle. Sorry for the shakiness, I usually have a tripod. I usually had so much after cycle 1 left over that I had another 3 weeks worth whenever I was only doing 10 units. So in cycle 2, what I started to do was more, 15 units, sometimes 20 units a night. So I think what I'm going to do, it depends. If there is less in the vial, that changes some things. But I'm going to do 10 units each night for the first month. Each cycle is 2 months for me. And then depending on how much is left in there, I think I might start doing some sort of a split with a morning and then evening before bed split. Maybe going up to like a 7.5 and 7.5, or even a 10 and 10. Again, depending on how much I've kind of got left in there. And that's just to kind of shake some things up a bit. Some of you guys had made some recommendation. And by the way, I've said this in a lot of my other videos. I appreciate you guys in the comments with the advice and the insight and the questions, and sometimes just the relatability. I've said from the beginning, I'm just some random ass dude that's just doing this stuff to try to document, maybe help you guys figure some stuff out on your own. So I appreciate you guys in the comments just kind of going along this nonsense journey with me. But because of those comments, some of you had said maybe, something in the morning or maybe more than once a day type of dosing would be beneficial. So we're gonna see how the first month goes, but I think that that's probably something I've got on target for the end of my second month, or for the end of my cycle, and look, I had said 3 cycles, and that's all I was committing to sort of emotionally. So, whatever happens in this cycle, this is sort of the make or break. I am excited that my IGF-1 numbers, that if you didn't watch my last video, that my IGF-1 numbers shows that I am having some elevated IGF-1 on the high end of stuff, more in the line of like maybe a 25 to 30 year olds levels, which is cool. It makes me feel like something's happening, but I need to see some results. I need to see something go. I've also put on more weight over the last month because, to be honest, I've just been kind of down about the process and losing all that muscle. And I just kind of said, you know what? If I'm losing muscle, it's not going to be because I'm under eating. So I'm probably back up higher than I should have been. I'll do an update after like the first week or so on this, and we'll see how stuff's going. So anyways, thanks y'all so much for watching. We'll see you in a week. Here we go.